I've been chasing a client for 3 months. 3 months. Emails, follow-ups, coffee meetings, a free audit of their operations. I basically handed them a roadmap for free. And yesterday they told me they're still exploring options.
How many times have you reached out to them?
I stopped counting. Maybe 15? 20?
And how many times have they reached out to you?
0.
That's your answer.
What do you mean?
You've been moving toward them for 3 months, and every step you take in their direction gives them one more reason to stand still. Why would they commit? You keep showing up, you keep offering, you keep making it easy for them to take without giving anything back. You've removed every reason they'd have to come to you.
But that's how you win clients. You show initiative, you demonstrate value. Every sales book in the world says follow up, follow up, follow up.
Every sales book in the world was written by someone selling a sales book. Let me ask you this. When was the last time someone chased you, a recruiter, a vendor, anyone who really wanted your business?
Last month, actually, a software company. They were relentless. Emails, demos, the whole thing.
How did it feel?
Annoying. Desperate, honestly. Like, if your product were that good, why are you trying this hard?
And there it is. The harder someone chases, the less valuable they seem. Not because they are less valuable, but because pursuit communicates need, and need is the opposite of power. When you chase someone, a client, a partner, even a person you're interested in, you're broadcasting a message you don't intend to send. The message is, I need this more than you do. And the moment that imbalance is established, you've lost leverage completely.
But sometimes you do need it more. Sometimes you genuinely need the client.
And the moment they sense that, the dynamic is locked. They slow down because they can. They explore other options because there's no urgency. They string you along because your pursuit has made it cost-free for them to wait. You've given them all the power by being the one in motion.
So what? I just sit back and hope they come to me? That sounds like a great way to go bankrupt.
Not sit back. Pull back. There's a difference. Sitting back is passive. Pulling back is strategic. It's creating a situation where the other person has a reason to move toward you. Not because you begged, because you offered something they can't get by standing still. And then you made it clear that the offer has a window.
Like a deadline?
Deeper than a deadline. A deadline is a tactic. I'm talking about positioning. Think about what happens when you stop chasing. Suddenly, there's silence. And silence after months of pursuit is the loudest thing in the room. The client who's been comfortably ignoring your emails now has a gap. Where's the follow-up? Where's the free advice? Did they lose interest? Did someone else hire them? That gap creates something that all your emails never could.
Doubt.
Doubt, curiosity, and the faintest edge of loss. Because people don't value what's freely available. They value what might disappear. You've been freely available for 3 months. The moment you're not, the equation changes.
That feels like playing games.
It feels like playing games because you've been taught that effort equals virtue, that the harder you work for something, the more you deserve it. And in many areas of life, that's true. But in the dynamics between people, in negotiation, in attraction, in influence, effort can work against you. Because effort reveals desire, and revealed desire in the wrong context is a leash someone else can hold.
You're making this sound like a power struggle. I just want the client's business.
And they know that. That's the problem. They've known it since email number 3. Everything after that was confirmation. So, instead of sending email 21, what if you did something different? What if you took all that energy you've been pouring into the chase and redirected it into becoming more visible, into serving someone else publicly, into creating something that gets attention in their industry, not directed at them, but visible to them?
So they see me succeeding without them.
And they start to wonder what they're missing. That's the bait. Not a discount, not a free audit. The bait is the sight of you thriving without their participation. Because now the calculation flips. Before they were thinking, we can take our time, they'll still be there. Now they're thinking, wait, are we about to miss something?
That's completely different energy.
Completely different. And it's the energy behind every successful negotiation you've ever seen. The person with the most power is always the one who can walk away, not the one who's trying hardest. The one who could leave and be fine, because that willingness to walk communicates something words never can. It says, I have options, I have value, I'd like to work with you, but I don't need to.
I understand that in theory, but in practice, doesn't this just make you lose opportunities? What if they don't chase? What if they just forget about you?
Some will, and that's information too. If someone forgets about you the moment you stop pursuing them, they were never going to commit anyway. You were just entertainment, a free resource they were milking until something better came along. Losing that person isn't a loss, it's a reclamation of your time.
That's hard to accept when you're staring at a revenue gap.
It is, and I won't pretend this is easy or clean, but let me give you a historical example of someone who understood this at the highest possible level. Napoleon, not on the battlefield, in diplomacy. In 1805, Napoleon needed an alliance with several smaller German states before moving against Austria and Russia. He could have pressured them. He had the army for it. He could have sent diplomats to twist arms and issue threats. Instead, he did something far more effective.
What?
He positioned his forces in a way that made the smaller states realize they were about to be caught between two massive powers, France on one side, Austria and Russia on the other. And then he waited. He didn't send ambassadors pleading for alliance. He sent a signal. I'm moving forward with or without you. If you're with me, you're protected. If you're not, you're in the path of what's coming. He made inaction more dangerous than action. He didn't chase them. He made standing still terrifying.
And they came to him.
They came to him, one by one, because he'd structured the situation so that approaching him was the rational move. He didn't persuade them, he didn't seduce them. He created conditions where coming to him was simply the smartest option available. That's not manipulation, that's architecture.
But he had an army. I have a consulting firm with 8 employees. I can't exactly make someone afraid of standing still.
You don't need an army, you need scarcity, real or perceived. Think about what you've been doing, giving free audits, free roadmaps, unlimited access to your time. What does that communicate about the supply of what you offer?
That it's unlimited, that I'll always be there.
And what's the value of something unlimited?
Low, by definition.
Now imagine you stopped the free audits. Imagine you announced to your network, not to this specific client, that you're only taking on 3 new projects this quarter because you're prioritizing depth over volume. Imagine one of those projects was a competitor of this client and you mention it casually in an industry forum. You haven't said a word to the client directly, but the environment around them has shifted. Suddenly, you're not the person chasing, you're the person filling up. And the chair they've been lazily reserving might not be there next month.
That's okay, I can see how that works. But what if it backfires? What if they think I've moved on and they just shrug?
Then they were never your client, and you find out in 3 weeks instead of 3 years. One of the hidden costs of chasing is that it can keep a dead opportunity alive artificially. You pour energy into something that was never going to close, but because there's still contact, still conversation, still exploring options, you convince yourself there's hope. Pulling back collapses that illusion. It forces the truth to the surface. And yes, sometimes the truth is that they were never coming. Better to know now.
There's something psychological happening here, isn't there? Beyond business tactics, something about how people assign value.
There is, and it's deep. Human beings are wired to want what moves away from them, not toward them, away. It's in our evolutionary circuitry. When something approaches freely, our brain categorizes it as low risk, low value, probably safe, probably common. But when something pulls back, when it creates distance, a different circuit fires. Scarcity, potential loss. The brain lights up and says, wait, pay attention, this might not be available.
So we literally value things more when we're afraid of losing them?
More than when we're being offered them. This is true in romance, in business, in consumer behavior, in geopolitics. The product that's back-ordered feels more desirable than the one sitting on every shelf. The person who's selectively available is more intriguing than the person who's always free. It's not logical, it's wiring. And the people who understand this wiring, who work with it not against it, they don't need to chase. They create conditions where others come to them.
But doesn't this make you cold? If I'm always calculating distance, always thinking about pull instead of push, doesn't that kill the genuine part of relationships?
Only if you mistake strategy for personality. You can be warm, generous, and genuinely caring and still understand that running after people who aren't moving toward you is a waste of both your energy and their respect. This isn't about being cold. It's about being centered. The most attractive people, in any context, aren't the ones chasing or hiding. They're the ones standing still, doing meaningful work, open to connection, but not dependent on it. That stability is magnetic, not because it's a trick, because it's rare.
Rare.
How many people do you know who are truly okay alone? Who could lose the deal, lose the client, lose the relationship, and still be standing? Not happy about it, but standing, stable, moving forward. That kind of person doesn't need to chase because they've built a life that generates its own gravity. People come to them because being around them feels like being near something solid.
And I've been the opposite, running around with a free audit in each hand, hoping someone will stop long enough to take one.
And every time they took one, they valued it exactly as much as they paid for it.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I think I need to cancel my follow-up with that client.
What would you do instead?
Nothing. For them. Everything for me. I'll take that energy and put it into something visible. Something that makes people come ask what I'm working on instead of me showing up at their door with a pitch deck and a smile.
And if the client eventually calls?
Then we'll have a very different conversation. One where I'm not grateful for their time. One where they're interested in mine.
Yes.
You know what the hardest part is? I have to stop confusing effort with progress. I've been working so hard at chasing that I forgot. Running fast in someone else's direction is still moving away from your own.